Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and you're going to be a better person after watching this video. Entitled Landlord? So, a bit of backstory. Every summer we've got this huge festival in town for which people all over the country travel in for. It's huge. Naturally, the landlords of the city want to use this opportunity to get some extra cash after the hotels are all fully booked. Very understandable in my opinion. I lived in an apartment in walking distance to the festival. Usually would be 3 students living there, but at this time we were only 2, as the others had gone to their hometowns for the break. My best friend and I were working at the festival, but she lived in another town, so she was just in for the weekend and stayed with me at a spare mattress in my bedroom. This is important later. This interaction, however, caught me off guard. EL is entitled landlord. Me is me, obviously. RG, random girl. Me. Oh, hey there. Who are you? Oh hi, I'm Random Girl. My friend and I are staying here. Oh, new tenants? Nope, friends of the landlord. After greeting them and talking to my other roommate, I went to call my landlord, a bit confused about this. Hi there, so there are 2 girls here apparently staying here for the weekend? Yep, they're 2 friends of mine. Figured I'd be nice and let them crash for free. Well, I get that, but I wish my roommate and I had gotten a heads up. I mean, I know you'd mentioned the idea of wanting to rent out an extra room for the weekend about a month ago, but we never really talked more about it, so I was kind of baffled to arrive home from work to find just strangers in my living room. Well, it's my house. But we rent it, and when you rent it out you lose certain privileges, such as, well, using it at your own disposal without our consent. Well, they're staying, so sorry I guess, for not asking you if they could use my house. Whatever, it's alright. I was just kinda baffled. You know, I got a friend here myself this weekend, so the house is pretty full now. Wait, you've got a friend staying over? Yeah, we're working at the festival. Then I'm gonna have to charge you for that. You're gonna charge me for having a friend stay over on the floor of my bedroom to work at the festival your friends are staying in their own room for free to attend? It's an extra tenant. No. If she'd used the spare bedroom and gotten in the way of you renting it out, that would be an extra tenant. This is just my friend staying on my floor. This went back and forth for quite a while, but ultimately I refused to pay and ended up actually complaining about the behaviour of his friends, as they'd been partying to 5 AM both nights when I'd explicitly said that my friend and I were working. The relationship between my landlord and I got kind of rocky after that. Entitled Piercing Story. So, my mum was a body piercer at a tattoo shop. She told me that recently, yesterday, she got this customer who demanded a refund. Here's the story. Also be warned that my spelling sucks sometimes. EG is Entitled Girl. Entitled Girl and her few friends walk into my mum's workplace. I have been there enough times to know that her job has a rather chill feeling to it. Anyway, Entitled Girl walks in with her obnoxious friends, excitedly saying, I can't believe I'm gonna get my tongue pierced, I'm gonna do it! Okay, who gets their tongue pierced? That's their choice. So anyways, the Entitled Girl proceeds to step forward towards my mum, where my mum was waiting to prepare her with the paperwork that explains all the ins and outs of piercing the tongue. Her ID was scanned, papers were signed, and off to the procedure area the Entitled Girl and my mum went. As she sat in the chair, she explained how excited she was and how she could not believe she was actually piercing her tongue. Her tongue with a single needle gets jabbed and bam, over and done. It's pierced, my mum says to the Entitled Girl, and she happily pays and walks out. A few days later, Entitled Girl comes storming in outraged, demanding as soon as she hit the door, we have a problem and I want a refund. Caught off guard, my mum looks up and sees the once so excited Entitled Girl who had asked for the tongue piercing, holding up a tongue ring explaining how her tongue's swollen and she did not ask for that. My tongue got so swollen and it hurts so bad, Entitled Girl whined. As my mum tried to explain once again the ins and outs of a tongue piercing, Entitled Girl storms off saying how stupid it was and how she's never getting a piercing again. It's short, but a story I thought should be here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my mum's story. Aunt gets skin removal surgery after gastric bypass. Her parents pay for her vacation to Scotland. This might be a bit short, since this happened around 5 years ago and I don't quite remember everything. So, backstory. My aunt, my dad's sister, is the most entitled witch in my whole family. She's the type of person that can do no wrong in the eyes of her parents because she is their only daughter. She ran my mother off from visiting my dad's family during Christmas because a-hole aunt, AA, kept making fun of my mum's weight. AA was the same size at the time. Among other things, and somehow got her mother against my mum when my mum finally retaliated. I can't quite remember how that went because I was around 4 when it happened. My mum hasn't been back for Christmas since and I'm 20 now, but that's another story completely. Anyways, AA was a big woman and she didn't even try to lose any weight, so she got gastric bypass surgery which was covered by her husband's insurance. She cheated on him afterwards and divorced him. After dropping a lot of weight, she couldn't get past a certain dress size and decided she needed skin removal surgery to remove the excess skin, which was also covered by her husband's insurance. Well, she got the surgery, and not long after she kept complaining about how stressful it was for her and how she wanted to go on vacation. She even tried to get my dad and her other brother to pay for her vacation. Her parents, seeing AA as the angel and most deserving person she was, completely paid for a trip to Scotland so she could relax, take it easy and recuperate. AA didn't even invite her then husband or kids to go with her, she went by herself. I think her vacation ended up lasting for 2 weeks, and most of the spending money she had was from her parents as well. She didn't even try to repay them for any of it. So yeah, that's how AA got a free vacation to Scotland after skin removal surgery. She's done a lot more I can mention that reeks of entitlement or plain out trashiness, but I'm trying to keep this short. Broke my game system. Backstory. I'm in the military, so sometimes I end up coming across people I went to basic or AIT with, and this particular female was someone I went to basic with. And because basic is that type of environment where you get up and personal with people in a short amount of time, you tend to get close. Or at least I did. So this female and I ended up stationed at the same base after AIT, both of our first duty stations, and I'm pretty excited. I don't really know a whole lot of people, and it's nice to see familiar faces. Anyways, she ends up working CQ, which is where you sit at a desk at the entrance to the barracks so strangers don't come in or illegal stuff hopefully doesn't happen, etc. And I don't know about elsewhere, but here during CQ, most soldiers like to hook up laptops and gaming systems to pass the time, as it's a 24-hour shift. So I let her borrow my Xbox, she loves Xbox, and she owns one back home, and my TV because hey, why not? I wasn't using it and I think it's cool to be cool. Anyway, she borrows it, ends up keeping it for a few days as she has another CQ later next week, whatever. I get it back, leave it a couple of weeks because I don't play Xbox really, but when I eventually fish it out to play a few games, I find it broken and not connecting to the TV at all. I'm kinda peeved. I wish she would have told me it was broken because hey, that's kind of a D move, but whatever. I don't play it that often anyways, I've gotten a lot of years out of it, etc. The kicker is when maybe a day later she texts me, asks me what I'm doing, mentioning she's doing CQ again, which is quite often compared to others, her unit not want to deal with her much, and I'm seeing where this is going, and I'm not liking it at all. She then proceeds to ask if she can borrow my TV, the electronics she didn't break, and that she doesn't need the Xbox because the NCO on duty with her brought his PS. So right off the bat, I'm annoyed. She hadn't even told me the Xbox was broken, and then has the gall to ask to borrow the unbroken TV. I told her that she broke the Xbox and TV. I lied and said both broke to make it easier for me, and that she won't be able to use them. She then texts me that she doubts she broke both, as she only used it for half her shift, which is still 12 hours mind you. She then goes on to tell me that she'll buy me a new TV if it breaks, but not a new Xbox? Why not just buy your own TV then? And that her NCO went so far out of his way to get his PS that she'd feel bad he went to all the trouble. I end up telling her I just don't feel comfortable lending stuff out, and say that she should just ask someone else to borrow their stuff. At this point, I'm not only angry, but hurt. It's not even about the objects anymore, but about how you would treat someone who had done you a favour, who you had gone through 3 months of rigorous training with, and how they would put an NCO's troubles above someone who had thought they were a friend. I feel a little better at least, knowing her true colours. And I'm sure all of this is not as big of a deal as I'm making out to be, but it's the little things that really show you who someone is. Lesson learned. I need that elevator now. So, I'm an elevator technician. When they break, I'm the one who fixes them. When parts wear out, I replace them. You get it. The other day I was on a job replacing a worn out emergency light. Back in the day it was a habit to use the battery of the emergency light to power the elevator's siren system. Modern emergency lights have different voltages being LED, so I can't use the old way of connecting everything. So I have to wire everything up from scratch, including new battery and siren. No big deal, but it takes a little longer to complete the task. Note that this is a 3-stop elevator. Ground floor, first floor, and second floor. I start with hanging up all my out of order signs and start working on the ground floor. 5 minutes in, just disassemble the old piece, the story begins. In comes the entitled woman, mid-40s, can walk perfectly fine, carrying one barely filled grocery bag. Me, yours truly, EW, entitled woman, D, her lovely daughter, around 15 years old. Entitled woman, excuse me, is the elevator broken again? Not exactly, ma'am. I'm changing this, showing her the new emergency light, because the old one wasn't working anymore. This will probably take about an hour to complete. At this point her daughter walks in. How am I supposed to get my groceries upstairs? Me, getting annoyed, I look at her bag and give her the "are you effing kidding me" look. The daughter. Mum, seriously, take the stairs, it's 2 floors. Clearly annoyed. No, I pay for this elevator and I need it now. Daughter, I'm going up, and takes the stairs. How long is this going to take? Like I said, ma'am, about an hour. The woman then sits her ass down on a bench in the hallway waiting for me to finish. Really? Oh well. I do my thing in the cabin, not hurrying at all, mount the new E-light to the ceiling and pack my things to go one floor up to start the wiring on top of the cabin. You done yet? No ma'am, I still have to wire things up on top of the elevator. No, I can see you're done. You're packing your things. Yes, I have to take my bag one floor up so I can start on the wiring. Can't I use it now? No ma'am, you can't. There's exposed wiring up there. If you use it now, you can cause a short and you will get stuck. It's really not safe. Fine. And she sits back down on the bench, seriously pissed off. I take my bag and make my way upstairs. As soon as I stand in front of the first floor door, I hear the door on the ground floor close, and sure enough, entitled woman went into the elevator and tried to take it upstairs. Hell no, I wasn't having that. I take my emergency key, and as soon as the elevator started moving, I open the lock, cut the safety chain, and the elevator comes to a sudden stop. This scared the crap out of her, and she screams. I open the door, and in my most fake surprised voice I yell, "Oh no, what have you done?" while calmly pressing the emergency stop on top of the elevator. Yep, this thing isn't going anywhere soon. This is exactly why I said the elevator is unsafe to use now. I'll do my best to get it working again as soon as possible, but you made a mess up here, so I don't know how long it's going to take. There was no mess, but I couldn't resist teaching her a little lesson. She swears, yells, and makes a scene. I'll be right back. I have to go to the engine room to see if I can get it working again. I close the door and make my way up. On the second floor, the daughter came out of the apartment because of the yelling of her mother. I quickly explained what happened. Daughter raising her voice, "Oh no, please get her out of there!" But then she comes closer and whispers to me, "Don't hurry, make her suffer." That's my kind of girl. Music to my ears, I smile, give her a thumbs up, and make my way to the engine room. I call my supervisor to explain the situation in case she files a complaint. In the engine room, I start playing around with the fuses, putting her in the dark because, yeah, I haven't connected the E-light yet. I play with her for about half an hour before I turn off the emergency stop I activated. The elevator synchronizes to the lowest floor, and I wait for the doors to open. Please, don't ever do that again. Entitled woman is white as a sheet and shaking. No, I won't. And she takes the stairs and goes inside. I never heard from her again. I calmly finish my job and leave the building with a smile on my face. Mission accomplished. Okay, so that's all for r/EntitledPeople. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.